Okay, so here goes. I'm going to attempt to do a bit of an eye tutorial, something that me and one of my good friends, Liberty, spoke about. She thinks it's only fair that I should still share my love and flair for makeup. Plus doing her a bit of a favour, and anybody else out there that feels like having a watch, just to talk you through how to use some of the products and what colours go well together, how to blend them. Me and Liberty actually picked this eye look. It was one that we both really loved, and it's simply just to show her how to put the colours together and how to achieve the look that we've picked. I will talk you through all the products that I use. We'll see how it goes. If you've got any questions or any comments, pop it on the video at the end. That'd be brilliant. So we'll make a start and see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to use a lot of Urban Decay products, unfortunately. I'm using two of their palettes, plus other things, but you will see that I don't just use Urban Decay products. There is some other brands that I do use as well. Okay, so we're going to start. As you can see, I've done one of my eyes, one side of my face already. This is the look that we're going with. It's a bit of like a midnight sky sort of look. It has actually got a blue and a black, and then there's an all favourite eyeshadow Sin, which is a highlighter on the top. But like I say, we'll talk you through it. I've got my foundation, my blush and my highlighter and my bronzer on that side as well. As you can see, my face is very blotchy this side. So I'll talk you through again the foundation and what products I use as well with that. Okay, so to start this eye look, I'm going to use Urban Decay's Sin Eye Primer. Okay, this is my favourite eye primer, just because it gives so much more depth to the eyeshadows and it makes them much more metallic, especially when you're doing such a dark base. To give it a bit of shine and some metallic is always nice. Now with the primer, it's entirely your choice. You can either apply it with your fingertips, but I tend to use a bit of a brush. It's just a concealer brush, but it just gives a nice flat coverage just along the eyelid, and plus then you don't get it all over your fingers. So you're just going to apply that right from the lash line right the way up to the brows. Okay, because you want to make sure that the eyeshadow stays on the whole of the eyelid and then it's all the same depth. So just like that. As you can see, it's quite a bit of a shimmer. Sorry the light isn't too brilliant in here. May have to adjust when I'm doing my makeup, but again, like I say, it's just a bit of a start, a bit of a trial to see how it goes. Okay, so with a lot of tutorials, they say to start with the lightest colour and work the way out to the darkest colour. Now, I always think starting with the darkest colour is much more easier, because if you get a bit carried away with putting it on, it's easy to put the lighter colours over the top of the dark than it is to put the dark on last and there's too much and then you can't work with it. Okay, so the black that I'm using, which is what I've got on the lower lash part of my lid here, just 3/4 of the way in. Okay, it's out of the Ammo palette. Okay, now there is a new version of this. If you've got the new Ammo palette, it's actually a silver front with a silver skull on the front of it. Okay, it comes with a little eye primer and also a little eyeshadow brush. It's a really, really good buy. I think it's £23 at the minute, and there is 10 eyeshadows in. Inside, as you can see, they're all glitter, so if you like glitter eyeshadows, it's a fantastic palette. Okay, so this colour that we're going to use here is the Black Oil Slick, and it's got a silver glitter in just to make this look a little bit shimmery. The brush I'm using is an Urban Decay brush, and it's the 24/7 blending brush. It's a really, really nice brush because it's a little bit stubby and it is rounded at the end, so it sits really nice in the creases to get that colour right in that line, so sort of like along your eyeball. So we're going to put this just up to the crease. Always start in a V shape, so running right from the corner of your lashes up to the point of your brow. People that struggle to get this line, easiest way, get a bit of tape and run the tape along here, and then when you're putting the eyeshadow in, it's only going to go as far as the tape, and then you can peel the tape off and do your foundation and stuff after, like I'm doing. So we're going to fill in probably about 3/4 of the way. We're not going to go all the way, so we don't want the black to be too overpowering in this. So like I say, from the lash line right up to the crease, just to about there. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, because like I say, we're going to blend the other colours into it. You just want the black to be the depth of the eyeshadow, but just not to overpower it too much, because like I say, there is a blue in this. So the blue we're going to actually use out of the Good Old Vice palette. Okay, this is an absolute brilliant buy, 20 eyeshadows in it for £42. From what I've been told is they're actually selling on eBay and on the internet for about £200 because they're so hard to get hold of now. Debenhams and Hanley actually have a lot of these, so if you want one, go get yourself one because they are a really good buy. They're all limited edition colours, they only exist in this palette. Okay, and the colour that I'm going to use is this one here, this very, very nice sort of tealy turquoisey green, and it's called Unhinged. So, still using exactly the same, the 24/7 blending brush. We're going to use the Unhinged colour. I'm going to put it in the corner, and we're going to run this just slightly above that black. And just blend it into that corner. So we're giving that really, really nice shimmer to this colour now. And this turquoise looks amazing on its own. Really going to be a really nice colour for the summer. So like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it is that you get too carried away and you've gone too high, because you can see on the pink on here comes as that high, always, best friend, get a cotton bud and just run it along the line and just take it down as far as you need to. So again, you want it just sitting above the crease, but not too far up the lid. I'll just even that out. Okay, so then with a soft brush, this brush is actually the brush that comes in the Vice palette. It's got an eyeshadow brush one end, eyeshadow brush one end, and then a very soft blending crease brush on the other end. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Ammo palette, which is this one here, and we're going to use the good old faithful, we're going to use Sin, which is in the bottom there, is the highlighter colour. So you're going to use the soft end of the brush, run it in the Sin, and we're going to take this from that blue right the way up to the brown. This is just going to give a very soft metallic highlighter to the top of the eye, just to give that illusion of the eye being deeper and the socket being a much more deep, so it gives you that really nice sort of like model look. Okay, so again then back to 24/7 blending brush, you're going to put the pink in, okay, and give it that really nice finish. So back to the Vice palette, and we're going to use the really nice cerise pink colour that everybody seems to be very scared of, as well as the Chaos is a very scary colour in there, but I'll do another tutorial on that one, which is a really, really good tutorial. It's actually a matte blue and it's quite a difficult colour to use, but it'll be something we can do later on. But White Noise in the bright pink is what we're going to be using. So again, just with the same little blending brush, we're going to run that now right along that crease, so right to the middle, right to the outside, and it just gives that really deep cerise pink colour because it'll blend in with the blue. So we've just layered that over the top of the Sin, so it doesn't make it too bright, it just darkens it down to give it that really nice sort of midnight sky look. Okay, from here, this is where you can top up your black, so if you feel like you need the black to be a little bit darker, just pack in a little bit more black. If you want the blue to be more dominant, stick in a bit more of the blue, put a bit more of the blue in the corner, or if you like the depth of the pink, put in a bit more pink. If it is that you've gone too high and you get too carried away with the pink, just go back to your Ammo palette with the Sin and just soften that pink line out with that there. Okay, now to bring this look underneath the eye, this colour that I've got here is actually a green. Okay, the look that we looked at was a green with the blue and the black and the pink and a highlight shimmer. Okay, so the green that I've used is actually the green, again, that's in the Ammo palette, and it's called Mildew, and it's this colour here. And all I'm going to use is the brush that we use to do the blending, the soft Sin with the crease brush. We're going to use the other end, use the eyeshadow brush because it's got a nice point on the end. Take a little bit of the Mildew, and you're going to run this just underneath the lash line, taking it right up to that blue in the corner. It's a really nice sort of like grassy green. Again, it's another colour that looks really nice on its own or blended in on a full lid with Sin. It looks really nice. Okay, then with the same brush, take a little bit of the Oil Slick, the black, and you're going to take that just about a third of the way in underneath the lash line, just to bring that black in, just to soften out the black sort of dead end here, rather than it just stopping off dead here. You're going to bring it just softly underneath the eye. Okay, so from there, if you want to neaten it up, sharpen off this line. If you've got tape on, take the tape off. Again, I just use a cotton bud, stretch out the eye if you want to, just really even out that line, give it a bit more sort of dramatic, very edgy look. Again, if you've come too far down, run your cotton bud underneath, just so it's just sitting in the crease underneath there. Okay, now as you can see, I don't really have much of an eyebrow. Okay, so I actually use the Naked Basic, and the colour in there is Naked 2 that I use, and I actually use that because it's more of a blonde sort of brown rather than a really harsh brown. I do use Brow Zing as well, but that's for very more dramatic, and if I'm going out at night time, I do use the Brow Zing because it is deeper and darker. But just for a very soft brow, just use the Naked 2 in the Naked Basic palette, just with just a thin eyeshadow brush, just to give just a very soft shape and edge. It's really good because my eyebrows need doing at the minute, so it just takes off the sort of uneven, not very neat brows, just by giving it the perfect shape just with a bit of colour. Just match them up, make sure they're the same both sides. It just finishes off the look, just frames the eye just that little bit more. Okay, then from there we're going to use some foundation. Okay, so as you can see, my face really nice and flawless aside. I'm very splodgy, got my dark circles under here and my veins and stuff that you can see. So I have already primed my face. I've actually used Clarine's Beauty Flash Balm. Okay, it's a really nice primer. Put on my serum, my moisturiser, and then pop some of this on. If I am going out, I will use Urban Decay's Pore Perfecting Primer. It's a mattifying primer, so it makes your foundation last a little bit longer, especially when you're out and it's hot. The foundation I'm going to use today is actually Lancome's. It's their Silk Matte. It's an 18-hour Shine Stopper foundation, and that it's in an 02. I'll pop a little bit of this on. Using the good old trusty Urban Decay's Optical Blurring Brush. Best foundation brush going. And just apply this all over the face. I'd say I've already done this half. This foundation is really nice foundation if you like a matte foundation. Do use the Urban Decay's Naked Skin as well. It's a really nice foundation, really nice and lightweight for every day. Just fancy just a bit of a change today. I do personally prefer a matte look, so this foundation's brilliant. So apply that all over. Applying foundation after you're doing your eyes, especially when we've used such dark colours, is always best, because if it is that you've dropped any of the eyeshadow or anything under here, if you've already got your foundation on, the colours will have held on to the foundation. You'll have to stop makeup removing it and taking it all off. So doing your foundation after, you're saving yourself a hell of a mess and problems of taking it all off and everything again. So it's always good. Okay. Always seal your foundation. I always use a mineral powder. Okay, actually use the Bare Minerals, and that's a ready SPF, and it's a touch-up veil. Okay, so it's a translucent powder, no colour, but it helps to mattify and hold on to the foundation. I just apply this. I use a foundation brush, it's an Estee Lauder brush. It's a really nice compact brush, so you can buff the foundation powder, the veil, over the top of your foundation just to mattify it a little bit more. And again, it just helps to stop that shine. That's it. So I look a little bit more even now. Okay, now to contour and give myself a little bit of colour, because I look very flat. I've got my nice rosy side here, but very flat this side. I'm actually going to use Urban Decay again, believe it or not. Urban Decay's Naked Flushed. Really good product because it's your 3-in-1. Because you've got your bronzer, your highlighter and your blusher. Okay, you can use your brush all the way across all three, gives you a really nice sun-kissed highlighted blush, or break it down into 3 steps. Have a matte bronzer, your shimmer for around the eye and down the nose, and your blusher to give you a nice rosy tinge. Or they've cleverly put the highlighter down the middle that you can have a shimmer bronzer and a shimmer blusher if you run your brush over the two together. So it's a really cool little product. But I use the 3 in sections. So we use the matte bronzer just to contour just under the cheekbone, so meeting up to in the middle of the ear hole, along the brow and underneath the jawline, just in that E shape or a number 3, just to give you that really nice sun-kissed tucked in effect. Just softens out the jawline as well. You can bring it all the way down, and the excess off the brush, don't add any more, just dust it over the face. Just give you that nice colour without looking like you've been tangoed. With then just a small soft brush. It's actually one of the shadow brushes from Estee Lauder, but it's a really nice little soft bristle brush. It's really nice for the highlighter, so we use that in the highlighter. We're going to take it just in a C shape, just around the eye, so from the middle of the brow to the middle underneath the eye, just where you can feel your cheekbone, just along there. Just gives you just that little bit of shimmer and highlight just along there, just to give you that look of a very raised cheekbone. I always take just a little tiny bit on the middle of the nose and just the top of the lip there. Okay, so then for the blusher, I've actually got an Avon Angle blusher brush. It's very nice and compact, so it's a really good brush for using for your blusher. Smile, put the blush on the apples of the cheeks and just take the excess up into the hairline. So you've actually put it in 3 sections. You've got your highlighter, then your blusher, and then your bronzer sat here. So you've got your 3 stripes, but they all blend in quite nicely together. Just soften that out. Just give it that really nice colour. Just make sure you even both sides. Okay. So you can do this in any order. I am very puddled on which way I put my makeup on. I'm now going to put on my eyeliner, because by the time I've done my eyeshadow and what have you, my eyes do tend to start to water, so I leave my eyeliner till I've done my foundation and my mascara to give a chance for my eyes to calm down and stop watering. I'm actually using Urban Decay's eyeliner 24/7 Stay in Place eyeliner in Perversion. It's a jet black eyeliner and it's fantastic if you're not very good with the liquid liner. So I'm just going to apply this right the way along the lash line. Just a very thin line, because we don't want it to be too overpowering, but we want it to emphasise the lashes. And then this is actually a concealer brush, but I use it just to smudge out my eyeliner. So it is, if it is that you haven't got a steady hand, it's easy to just soften out the eyeliner, and it makes it quite easy to do your flicks as well. If you're not too steady on doing your flicks, it just naturally flicks out at the ends, as you can see with the brush, just very softly without it being too dramatic. Also taking the eyeliner all the way along my waterline just to finish off the colour on the eye. So nothing too dramatic, but just gives you a bit more length to your lash line. Then for my mascara, I always end up using 2 mascaras, simply because I use Urban Decay's Lush Lash System, which actually has a growth serum in it. So I always use this as sort of like a base coat, because it's got the serum in, so it's going to help to grow my lashes naturally. So I applied just a thin coat, and I've gone and smudged it. I do it every single time. Thin coat of that on the lashes, top and bottom. This stuff does actually work. I have noticed a massive difference in my lashes. They have grown since I've been using it. I've had this since Christmas. I've probably noticed, probably doubled in length maybe just a little bit less. Okay, with the smudge again, just get your cotton bud and just get rid of that. And same underneath, just to even it out. Mascara, I'm now going to apply Urban Decay's Big Fatty. Love this mascara, it's fantastic, especially if you've got very fine lashes like I have, because my lashes are blonde. This helps to thicken the lashes rather than give them the length as well. So just apply a coat of this just over the top of the Lush Lash System. The Lush Lash mascara is a nice mascara for an everyday, but if you've got a dramatic eye like we have today, you need something with a bit more va-va-voom. So Big Fatty is the way forward. So that's all that. So that's my mascara on. Okay, again, you do this anyway round, but I leave my concealer till last, just for if I have done any smudges or anything with my mascara. Estee Lauder's concealer brush. Fantastic little brush. And I'm just going to take this underneath the eye. Again, it gets rid of any smudges, gives you the chance to even out any of the lines and get rid of them dark circles. Take it right into the corner of the eye, just to brighten up around the eye. My concealer is actually 2 shades lighter than my foundation, so I do get that really nice bright under eye. And then if you want to, you can apply just a little bit more of the highlighter just over the top, just to brighten it up. So, that's that look that me and Liberty were looking to apply. If I pick this up, let's see if I can get a bit of light. So we've got the pink, the blue and the black. Okay, and the foundation, nice and even, got my brows on. All we're missing now is a little bit of lipstick. Now because we've got such dark eyes on, we don't want too dramatic with the lips. So I am using Urban Decay's Super Saturate lipstick. So it's the texture of a lipstick, high gloss of a lip gloss but without the stickiness, and then they do have a long lasting staying power as well. And this colour is Love Child. So I'm going to apply just a little of this to the lips. Just to finish off the look. Beautiful. Love these lipsticks, they just feel fantastic when they're on. So, that's that. If you've got any questions, like I say, comment on the video. Yeah, just give us some feedback, guys, and let me know how it goes.